Hello, Nevada AFL CIO. It's so good to be here with all of you. Coming together with our brothers and sisters in labor always feels like a homecoming, even unfortunately when it's virtual. As you know, I got my start with Nevada's labor unions, and I'll never forget how our leaders took a chance on me. Like many of our members, I grew up in a family that struggled to make ends meet. When I was just 19 years old, my father was shot and killed as a result of gun violence, and I was just a freshman in college. Life was hard, but labor believed in me. Within a few years, I was running the Culinary Academy of Las Vegas, where thousands of workers trained for good-paying union jobs. I've been proud to work side by side with the folks in this room to win tough fights for working people. There's no question that some of those victories have been easier than others. For 4 long years, we've battled against a president who wanted to see labor gutted. But even in the hardest moments, we stayed strong and unified. And last November, we showed how union voters can transform a nation. Today, American labor is beginning a resurgence like never before. But before I talk about the progress that lies ahead, I want to take a moment to recognize the leaders who helped build this movement. Earlier this month, we lost AFL CIO President Rich Trumka, a labor legend who never forgot the Pennsylvania coal mine where he got his start. Rich knew that unions built America, and he fought tooth and nail to keep labor strong. His legacy will live on through the change that he made for working people, and his memory will never be forgotten. This year, 2 of our own labor champions, Rusty McAllister and Paul McKenzie, are retiring after decades of service to their fellow workers. Now, we'll still be calling on them from time to time for their wisdom and guidance, but in a way, I'm reassured by their well-earned retirements. They know that Nevada labor is in good hands, and so do I. During the last state legislative session, the Nevada AFL CIO racked up scores of wins, including a critical right-to-return bill to help laid-off workers return to the jobs that they held before the pandemic. At the national level, Democratic majorities in the House and Senate are bringing working people into the halls of power like never before. Last November, I helped to co-found the Labor Caucus focused on addressing the needs of working people. We started with 6 founding members. Today, we're more than 100 strong, and we're putting every member to work. In March, we passed the American Rescue Plan with critical wins for working people, including full coverage of COBRA premiums for laid-off workers. That same month, the Labor Caucus and our allies in the movement made such a powerful case for the PRO Act that 5 Republicans crossed party lines to vote with us. The PRO Act would change the lives of millions of workers, and President Biden has promised to sign it into law when we get it to his desk. We'll keep fighting to get it through the Senate, but I'm also hoping that we'll see fundamental protections for workers included in the budget reconciliation bill as well. This week, the House is going back into session to work on a historic infrastructure package that will create good union jobs in Nevada and all across the country. Under the Biden administration, working people have seen transformative progress, and there's so much more to come. But we cannot forget the human toll that working families have already paid over the last year and a half. Since the beginning of the pandemic, we've mourned countless Nevadans lost to COVID-19. Many of those lives could have been saved if more workers had a union to fight for their health and their safety. So as we move forward, we must honor their memories with action. In June, after pressure from the Labor Caucus and our allies, the Department of Labor issued an emergency temporary standard to protect healthcare workers from contracting coronavirus. That was a long overdue move, but we needed better protections throughout the pandemic to protect all essential workers. So I'm calling on everyone in this room to keep up the fight. Speak truth to power. Hold every leader in Washington accountable for the promises they've made to working people. Right now, we have a historic opportunity to build union strength, to get ahead of the next crisis, and to ensure that our recovery lifts up every working family. President Biden has called on us to build back better, and no one can do that better than labor. Thank you all for what you do. Congratulations, and let's keep up the union fight.